Gordian II, born Marcus Antonius Gordianus, was the 30th emperor of the Roman Empire. His reign, albeit brief, is part of a turbulent period in Roman history marked by instability and conflict, especially during the crisis of the 3rd century. His rise to power and his eventual demise were closely tied to the political turmoil of the era. Gordian II was born into a prominent Roman family, most likely around 192 AD. His father, Gordian I, was a wealthy senator and held important positions in the Roman Senate. While little is known about his early life, it is likely that Gordian II was well educated and groomed for a career in public service. The Gordian family hailed from the city of Thrace, and they were aligned with the senatorial class that wielded significant political power in Rome during the 2nd and 3rd centuries. AD Gordian II's rise to the imperial throne occurred within the context of the political instability that plagued the Roman Empire during the crisis of the 3rd century. This period saw rapid changes in leadership as the empire faced external invasions, internal uprisings, economic decline, and military mutinies. Gordian II's reign, along with his father's, took place in 238 AD and is considered one of the more unusual episodes in Roman imperial history due to the brief nature of their rule. The political backdrop for Gordian II's rise to power was complex. In 238 AD, the Roman Empire was embroiled in chaos following the murder of Emperor Maximinus Thrax and his son Maximus in 238 AD. The Senate, seeking to regain some of its lost authority after the autocratic rule of Maximinus, proclaimed a series of emperors. Gordian I, an elderly senator and a respected figure in the Roman aristocracy, was declared emperor by the Senate. He was supported by his son Gordian II, who was made co-emperor. This was a strategic move to strengthen their claim to the imperial throne, as the Gordian family had significant prestige and connections in the Senate. The elevation of father and son as emperors was part of the broader Senate's attempt to reclaim power from the increasingly militarized and autocratic imperial government. While the Senate's support for Gordian I and Gordian II was initially strong, the Gordians faced immediate opposition from the military. The Roman legions, who had been loyal to the former emperor Maximinus, rejected the legitimacy of the Gordians' rule. The military backed the governor of Africa, Capelianus, who led a rebellion against the new emperors. The Gordians' forces were swiftly defeated by Capelianus in the province of Africa. The rebellion resulted in the death of Gordian II. The death of Gordian II came as a result of a military defeat in North Africa. After his forces were overwhelmed by the troops of Capelianus, Gordian II was either killed in battle or committed suicide to avoid capture. The precise circumstances of his death remain unclear, but it marked the end of his brief reign. Gordian III, devastated by the loss of his son and unable to continue the struggle against Capelianus, also committed suicide shortly after Gordian II's death. The fall of the Gordians was a pivotal moment in the Roman Empire. Their reign, although short-lived, demonstrated the fragile nature of imperial power during the 3rd century, when emperors could rise and fall in quick succession. Following the deaths of Gordian I and Gordian II, the Senate quickly declared a new emperor, Pupienus, who was chosen alongside Balbinus. The civil war in Africa, however, would continue to influence the political landscape for years. Despite the brevity of his reign, Gordian II's rule has been noted as part of the broader struggle between the Senate and the military for control over the empire. The Gordians' brief co-rule is often seen as an attempt by the Senate to reassert its authority, which had been undermined during the reign of Maximinus Thrax and his predecessors. The crisis of 238 AD, which resulted in the deaths of the Gordians and the establishment of the new emperor Pupienus, eventually led to a reorganization of imperial governance, with power shifting further toward the military and away from the Senate. This shift would have long-term consequences for the future of the empire, as emperors became increasingly dependent on the support of the army. Although Gordian II's reign was short and largely ineffectual, it remains part of the broader narrative of Rome's troubled 3rd century, a time when the empire faced immense challenges. The political and military instability of the period would eventually lead to the rise of the soldier emperors, a new class of leaders who ruled through military strength rather than senatorial legitimacy. In historical memory, Gordian II is often overshadowed by his more famous predecessor, the Emperor Gordian I, and the events of 238 AD, which involved multiple emperors and a great deal of instability. However, his reign is an important moment in understanding the crisis of the 3rd century and the evolution of Roman imperial politics. Gordian II's reign as Emperor of Rome was a fleeting episode during one of the most chaotic periods in Roman history. His brief rule came amidst the political instability and military strife that characterized the crisis of the 3rd century. Although his reign lasted for only a matter of months, it reflects the difficulties the Roman Empire faced during this era, when emperors could rise and fall with shocking rapidity, and political legitimacy was often determined by military force rather than traditional authority. The death of Gordian II, like the death of many other emperors during this period, contributed to the ongoing transformation of the Roman Empire from a Senate-based government to one increasingly dominated by the military,